Welcome to it, sports fans. The MKT Show. I'm MKT. It is good to be back. It is good to be back. It's been weekend long. Was down in somewhere called Storms River. If you're ever in South Africa, sensational. The Outer African Trail Run, sensational event. Great to be there. That was absolutely amazing. But good to be back. Good to be back. Back in Joburg. The smog, the air is thicker up here. It is good to be home. Hey, great weekend in the sporting world. Gervonta Davis, by the way, great knockout. Leo Santa Cruz, great champion. He beat one of my favorites of all time and dethroned Carl Frampton and essentially ended his career. And Gervonta Davis, for everybody who thought he was just a brawler, different level. Absolutely different level. That uppercut is savage. And the way he set it up is world class. So tremendous boxing fight. Got to watch that on Sunday evening on my way back. Phenomenal fight. So great weekend of sport. Let's get into it. All Premier League today. Obviously, the big one. United. That was awesome. Arsenal. They were fantastic. I think they were rigid. And my concerns about Everton, and I think we saw them come through to fruition. So I'll talk about that. So that's all we'll talk about today. United, Everton, Arsenal. Thomas Partey, of course, getting all sorts of praise. And I think, whoa, let's just pump the brakes there a little bit. But yeah, let's get into it. United Arsenal. Good game tactically. Good game to watch. I thought both managers did a sterling job. And Ollie's pragmatic. He had to do what he had to do. But I have a rule in life, and I hold myself to this rule. Never date, all right? Never date out of your economic or looks class. One of the two must be the same. Intelligence and personality. And I know we live in it's about deeper meaning and blah, blah, blah. Get that out of here. Doesn't work. Personality is nice. It's the cherry on top. And I know people say looks fade. Hold your horses. Never, ever date outside of your economic or looks class. Never, ever do it. And we're seeing why at Manchester United right now. Never, ever date out of your looks or economic class. Because one day, the sharp end of that is going to come out. Then insecurities start coming out. On either side, by the way, of, I can do better than you if I'm the better looking girl, or if I'm the richer guy, I can do better, and wandering eyes. This happens. And we're seeing it in Manchester United. Manchester United are dating way down. Way down. You had Giselle Bundchen, and now you're just dating your high school sweetheart because your top 5 options have rejected you. That's what's happening. I have a rule. I will never date outside of my economic class. And I'm mediocre looking, so I tend to date in and around the middle. I'm realistic. Be realistic in life. Man United are dating down, and that never works in life. Don't let anybody... This thing about, but what about personality? You can learn to love beautiful. Trust me. You can learn to love rich. It's not shallow. It's the practicalities of living in a capitalist world. It's great for your confidence. It's great for everybody when everybody knows that they're bringing something to the party. Never, ever date down. That's looks and economic. The rest, I don't care about. Figure out the personality side. You can learn to love somebody. But up front, if you're rich, she must be rich. If you're good looking, or at least you don't have to be, hey, we can't do anything. I've got an ugly face. Work on your body. Get your body in 5-star shape. If your body's in 5-star shape, her body's not in 5-star shape, get her the hell out of here. For you ladies, if his body's, he's got that middle section that he thinks is cute and he's a teddy bear and you look like an Instagram model, get him the hell out of there. Don't date out of your economic class. Manchester United are learning that right now. Because what tends to happen is you have to pander down to the one side. Man United are constantly pandering down to Ollie's inability to manage. You ever been in a relationship where you got to walk on eggshells all the time? That's not a relationship. You're in a prison. You're in emotional prison when you have to walk on eggshells every time because you're worried you're going to offend the other person. It's mental. And Man United are, listen, you had Alex Ferguson, Giselle Bundchen, Scarlett Johansson, Gabrielle Union, 5-star, the best of the best. You had that for 27 years. It's tough. It's tough when you're not the six-pack surfer hunk guy anymore. You're the 50-year-old guy in your midsection. The gut grows a little bit. That's who Man United are right now. But there is no reason for Man United to have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their manager. It does not make sense. Carlo Ancelotti's at Everton. Pochettino is available. Mourinho a second go around. There were so many other options. Nagelsmann is obviously, they've just beaten Leipzig, but Nagelsmann's available. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is clearly dated up. And in every situation, by the way, every relationship, once you look at it, there's a reacher and a settler. And the great relationships is where no one's reaching, no one's settling. Everyone's good looking, everyone's rich, everyone's ambitious. Bring something to the party. What is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing to Manchester United? He's bringing nothing. He's the guy, as far as I'm concerned, if we're having a barbecue or a braai if you're in South Africa, he's the guy who brings the salad. I don't care. You're not adding anything to my braai. I don't want to. What I want salad. I want steak, and I want what we call boerewors here. What are you bringing to the party? Every relationship, right? There is no compensating in relationships. Everybody must do their part. Relationships are hard enough. Manchester United, cut Ole now. It's over. Because let me tell you something. No relationship a year and a half in should be hard. If it's this hard a year and a half later and Ole still can't manage Pogba and Van der Beek's here and it's Man United who bought him in, but Ole didn't want him, what's happening there? It shouldn't be this hard. If you're in a relationship a year and a half, 2 years in, and you're still in counseling, I'm sorry. Just let it go. You know what intelligent people are great at? It's not just making great decisions. It's not just making great decisions. Really intelligent people are successful because when they make bad decisions, move off. Great companies. I mean, look at Bezos right now. We'll send you stuff. We'll Audible, they're doing well. Let's buy that. Let's send people to the moon. When you make bad decisions, pivot early. Get out of bad relationships quickly. Man United are turning into a mediocre organization because what tends to happen when you date down in life is the higher standard person always drops down. So if somebody's in great shape and the other person's not in great shape, generally the great shape person, you'll see them regress slowly but surely. Those sort of goals get eroded. The Ole thing's a mess. I mean, Pogba on the weekend was a nightmare. And by the way, this is Pogba on his best behavior, understanding that Van der Beek's here, understanding that Ole's not happy. That's the Pogba you get on his best behavior. Are you kidding me? So this is not the 8 out of 10 times Pogba. It was lazy, it was lethargic, and giving the ball away at Manchester United. And I'll tell you why it's not working with Pogba and Ole and United, is that Pogba knows now that Ole doesn't want him there. Nobody wants Pogba there. He knows that, and he's a sensitive guy. He knows that there's a problem. And sensitive people don't do well when the pressure's on, which is why I tell you, don't date down. If you're out of shape and I'm in shape, you're under your own pressure to know, like, oof, I really shouldn't be with that person. I'm reaching. Pogba knows now is that they're tolerating him. And once you're tolerating somebody, you're not in a relationship. But Manchester United now have a decision to make in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as far as I'm concerned. Do you want to get back to being a 5-star organization and start dating Giselle Bundchen or Gabrielle Union again? Or are you going to just try and date your high school sweetheart after her 3rd divorce and she's got 3 kids and all of that baggage? Because that's what Ole is, right? Fired at Cardiff, didn't work out at Mulder for whatever reason. And people might say that's because he came to Manchester United. But I'm sorry. I don't want to be going to counseling 2 years into my marriage. It's still too hard at United. It's too hard. Move on. You got to do one of 2 things. Pogba goes, Ole goes. One of the 2. If I'm Man United, I got to get rid of both. It's unacceptable. Don't tell me about... Listen, I'm tired of seeing good in Europe, and then it falls apart in the Premier League. That's not Man United. Because what it feels like now, right, if you're a United fan, is, oh, we're kind of lucky to be in the Champions League anyway. So it's a bit of a free hit. Don't tell me about PSG. They're not a real football team. Nagelsmann and his boys, I mean, Bundesliga will come round. Get off it. As Man United fans, get off it now. The Ollie thing's done. Like between 6th and 8th. That's what you're. Take the pandemic season away, because the pandemic season, really, Rashford came back, Martial came back, the lockdown helped players come back. Really, United was 6th or 8th. That's just it. Like, I'm sorry, you can't keep yo-yoing in life. Greatness is about consistency. You've seen the Ollie movie now, by the way. You've seen the Ollie movie. Couple of great performances, so a couple of months, you get the guys up and down, and then we know what the next month is going to look like. Ollie's tolerating Pogba. And quite frankly, United are tolerating Pogba. That's not a relationship. I'll say it again for the very last time. Never date out of your economic or looks class. I don't care what PC society says. Stop listening to Oprah's magazines with Gail or your best friend who's just trying to make you feel better. The reality is you never date out of your class. Manchester United are a 5-star model dating some guy who works at the petrol station. I'm not looking down on people that work at the petrol station, but if you're rich, date rich. If you're good looking, date good looking. If you're good looking and rich, good for you. Find somebody good looking and rich. Figure out the personality part. Man United have done it wrong. They're dating a personality. Personality comes later. Oh, we love Ollie. He's a hero at the club. Mentor of mine says, passion doesn't pay the bills. She always says that to me. Passion doesn't pay the bills. I don't care how much you love Ollie. Is he good enough to be managing Manchester United as you see it? Because I've seen it with Alex Ferguson. I've seen Carlo Ancelotti do it. I've seen Pochettino go to a rubbish Tottenham and make them consistently a Champions League team with far less money spent in a more competitive league, some might say. Chelsea on the down right now. United should have been top 2, top 3. When Poch came in, Chelsea, United were flying. Chelsea, United, City were flying. And he still managed to be top 4. Leicester were flying. Ollie has no excuse not to be top 3, top 4. I'm sorry. Especially with the amount of money spent. Get out of it. You're in the wrong business. And the Pogba thing, I'm sorry. The weekend, you know what? I don't want to bash on the guy because it's quite boring, actually. It just sounds like you become a Pogba hater. But that's what he is now. That's what he is now. Like, it's a highlight when he works hard on the football field. And the mistakes are a part of his game. You know, when it comes to the discipline side, I'm sorry. And by the way, he's nowhere near good enough. I'm sorry, if you're outside of being Zlatan, outside of being Messi, outside of being Gareth Prime Bale, outside of being Cristiano Ronaldo, when you're playing at that apex, I can forgive you for not being disciplined, for not dropping back, for not having work rate, for perhaps being prickly and not getting along with teammates. Paul Pogba has never produced at a high enough level to be this prickly and this much of a headache. Listen, relationships and sport are very much the same thing. I'll tolerate you in a relationship as long as you're producing the goods. So if you're good looking as a lady, a guy, whatever, we'll tolerate you a little bit longer. Keep yourself in shape and you have a great job and you're working hard. I'll tolerate you in a relationship if you actually can't clean the kitchen every now and then. As a guy or a girl, I hate messy people. But if you're good looking and rich, I can tolerate you a little bit longer. These are not things people want to hear, but it's the reality. What I will not tolerate is when you're not as good looking as me and then you leave your socks on the floor and you don't put the toilet seat down. Sorry. Ollie, your tolerance for Ollie should be low. He's done nothing. The pandemic season was only because Rashford and Martial and the injuries got to recover. Otherwise, United were disappearing into 6th or 8th. And the Pogba things, I'm done with Pogba. Listen, I'm out on Pogba. I've been out on Pogba for a very long time. He's a headache. You have to be honest with yourself as Man United now. How many more times do you need to see it? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Just believe people the first time. You're not an 18-year-old. Listen, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, you still believe in Disney love, Disney situations. Don't date out of your dating class. Don't date out of your economic class. If somebody's too good looking for you, hold your tongue. Go and get yourself in shape and maybe come talk to her then when your body's right. Listen, when you got a mediocre face like me, get your body tight and then come talk to the good-looking girl who's successful and ambitious and she's an adult and she wants to move forward in life. Come talk to her then. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't belong in Man United. United are dating down. United are dating down. They are. I'm sorry. I see lots of questions, and I'll come to those now. I just wanted to address, before I address the Arsenal situation. 2 weeks ago, I said I had a concern with James Rodriguez in their last loss. The problem was with James, when things were going well, great. And there's a reason why Real Madrid let him go on loan a couple of times. Because, you know, when you have that marquee guy, especially as number 10 in modern day football, it's why Arsenal had to let Ozil go. Is that when we're in the trenches as a number 10, unless you're Leo Messi, unless you're Juan Riquelme, where you've got that magic where all you need is 5 touches in the game and you're going to give your striker a one-on-one chance because you've got what they call in Spanish football, the pausa, that ability to stop the game. It looks like you've stopped the world around you and you find that magical pass, which Ozil had at Madrid but never had at Arsenal. Unless you've got that 8 out of 10 times, we can't tolerate you. Right? We can't do enough that will work without you, we have to leave you out of the defensive structure. James Rodriguez, I'm afraid, when we're in the trenches, isn't the guy. The Premier League's not Spain. It's not Germany. So it was nice at Munchen. It was nice at Madrid when you're dominating 95% of the games. Premier League, you saw this weekend, Southampton are real. Even right down to West Brom, they got 20 internationals. Right? In Spain, from about 10th onwards, it's a bunch of B team players. It's a bunch of teams with 3 or 4 internationals. The Premier League's real. There's a reason it's the biggest business in the world, is there's internationals galore. And I don't care what international team you play for in the world, by the way, you got to be a pretty decent player now. There isn't really a continent now where the football's rubbish. Australia and New Zealand are a handful. They are a handful. America's a handful. Korea is a handful. South Korea are a handful as a football team. China are becoming a handful. So I don't care where you play internationally. The Premier League's got the best of the best right down to 20th place. I mean, the captain of Australia, who are a decent team, multiple Asia champions, Milivojevic is a Crystal Palace. He's a half-decent player. Listen, he could go play at Atletico Madrid. I honestly believe that. Milivojevic could go and play top 6. He could be at Valencia. Maybe Atletico Madrid's a little high. They're top 3. But he could be at Valencia, which is a juggernaut of a club. But my concern with James Rodriguez and my concern with Everton, and I told you, date in your class, please. Carlo Ancelotti is realizing why. Carlo Ancelotti is dating way down. Everton are just happy to have won 5 games in a row. For Carlo, listen, I managed Inzaghi. I know what it means to win every week. I expect it. You see, when you're A grade, when you're the apex, here's why you don't date out of your class. When you're apex, when you're a model, when you're good looking, and you go out and people are looking and gawking, you expect it. Now, when you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend like that, and you don't have that security, you go out and people are amazed at your girlfriend or boyfriend, you start to get that jealousy thing because you're not comfortable with that lifestyle. Carlo Ancelotti's used to winning, Everton or not. James Rodriguez, huge concern. Here's the other concern. The drop is too big from James. I like Gylfi. He's not the guy. There's a reason Tottenham let him go. Is James Rodriguez, the drop from him to the next guy, it's too much. Because what's Carlo used to, right? In Italy, oh, well, Maldini's out. Oh, well, we'll play Gigi Zambrotta at left back. Gigi Zambrotta's a Hall of Famer, right? Pirlo's out, no problem. I shift Gattuso in there. Ambrosini, world-class, legendary, one of the greatest Italian midfielders of all time. Seedorf's out, no problem. I'll take some guy called Kaká. You heard of him? He can play on the left. We'll play 2 up front because I got Shevchenko and Inzaghi. Both of those are out. Well, not a problem. We'll rotate in Alexandra Pato. There's no drop there. There's no discernible drop. You go from James Rodriguez. I'm afraid now you're going to Gylfi Sigurdsson, ain't it? There's a reason Barcelona let Andre Gomez go. I like him. He's neat, he's tidy, but there's a reason Barcelona let him go. There's a reason Alex Iwobi's not at Arsenal. Arsenal are a top 8 club. There's a reason why they let him go. And from James Rodriguez to that's too big of a drop. That's Arsenal. That I think is Everton's big concern. And I think Carlo will try and address that immediately in January. Because now he's getting to see, I've got one, really there's plan A. The plan is James Rodriguez. And when that doesn't work, mess. When that doesn't work, it's a mess. We saw Everton again. Newcastle are solid at best. Everton should not, with that quality they've got on the field, be losing to that. I mean, Alan is quality. Decore is a magnificent player, I think. What happened? James wasn't there. The drop is too big. Gylfi can't put a team on his shoulders. It was nice for Gylfi when he was at Swansea. It was nice when he was just a piece at Tottenham. But there's a very big difference, right, between from being a guy to being the guy. James Rodriguez used to being the guy. Put it on my back. I'll carry the team. Decisive moment, I'll deliver. Gylfi Sigurdsson, the weight of the world's too much. Andre Gomez, weight of the world too much. Iwobi, well, he couldn't make it at Arsenal. I'm sorry. That's no good. You can't make it at Arsenal, especially in the era they've just had, where Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was one of the stars. Ramsey was considered one of the greats at Arsenal over the last 10 years. I'm sorry. If you can't make it in that bunch, I don't want you at my club. I'm sorry. This is not a shot at Arsenal fans, but Iwobi couldn't play Ramsey out, right? He can play Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain out. No. So Everton, top 4. I still think the top 4's on. But I think now we're starting to see where people belong. I think they'll be 6th to 8th. 4th to 6th. Somewhere in between there. If Man United don't get their act together, Everton top 4. So it's hugely concerning for the Toffees. I would be hugely concerned. The James Rodriguez thing is a problem. And now he's shown me that as soon as he's got anything like a niggle, he's out. And I don't like that. But this is, once again, it's going to go back to my overarching theme for today. Never date out of your class, because Everton now are a prisoner to the supermodel, right? You ever had listen, and I've been in this situation. I've been in a relationship with a beautiful, temperamental lady. Is Everton are in that position? Let me tell you how it works usually. I just felt lucky that I was with her, but she was crazy. Her temper tantrums and James Rodriguez now, when he throws a temper tantrum, what are Everton going to say? They're dating out of their class. James Rodriguez is way out of Everton's league. Way out of Everton's league. There's nothing Everton can say. When I was my good-looking girlfriend, she was way out of my league. She'd be doing crazy stuff, getting drunk like crazy on a Sunday night. I didn't say anything. Just like, oh, wow, I can't believe she will let me hold her hand. But this is why you don't date out of your league. I said it with Man United, again with Everton. You got to be careful. When you date out of your league, you're going to have to put up with a little extra. James Rodriguez, he's fine. Just play with pain, for goodness sake. What do you think? Patrick Vieira didn't play with pain? Of course he did. Didier Drogba didn't play with pain. Frank Lampard didn't play with pain. Just, there's injections. Play with the pain, James. We're overpaying you to take us to the promised land. But he's shown he's a little bit soft. I'm sorry. Pain in your foot. Are you kidding me? We need you. This is when we need you. Not when it's comfortable. Sorry, Everton. I may have been wrong on that. I may have been wrong on James. I like him, but I just already too many red flags. Whinging from the field last week and taking a week off this week. No good. Listen, I'll finish off with Arsenal. And there was the Thomas Partey thing. But let's take some questions. We'll take some questions. Thabo Pali. Padi. Sorry. By the way, an L is a D in Sotho, like Mushweshwa Sotho, by the way. He says, here's my email for the plug you promised me. It's mail@tabopali.co.za. So that's mail@tabopali.co.za. Thabo Pali is Pali, but it's Padi is one word. Mail@tabopali.co.za. So if you need a website, that's the guy to hit up. That's the guy to hit up. And I got a great email. By the way, Tabo, I will be replying to your email. Don't think I'm ignoring it. It is in my inbox. Jesse Randolph says some wise words again. Never date down. Listen, people don't want to hear. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes we say to people, just tell me the truth. You know, my old lady, my mom's the wisest person I know. And she always says, be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. People always say, just tell me the truth. No. What they want is their version of the truth. Is filter the truth. Whenever somebody says, just tell me the truth, what they mean is filter the truth so it doesn't hurt my feelings. Be very, very careful of that. People don't want the truth. The truth is never date down, economically or looks-wise. And by the way, if you got an ordinary face like me, work on your body. You can go from a 3 like my face is to a 5 or 5.5 like me. I work on my body. Keep it tight. 6-pack. I got to go. It helps me play out of my league. Never date down. Never works. Jesse Randolph said, United won't win the title in the next 15 to 20 years, especially if Klopp and Guardiola stick around and now Arteta. I totally agree. I think 15 to 20 might be. Sure, that depends how long Roman Abramovich and the Etihad crew stick around, I think, at Man City. But I think they have a problem, and it's not that unrealistic, because Arsenal thought it would just roll, right? Everybody at Arsenal thought, oh, we'll just roll from the Invincibles. Liverpool thought, okay, we got those Dalglish years, 80s, 90s, we'll win. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Kodak, BlackBerry, I've done this before, Nokia, they all thought, oh, okay, we're fine. We're the biggest. We'll win. United made the Nokia mistake. Ultimately, they made the Nokia mistake. Don't ever confuse the biggest for being the best, please. Being the biggest doesn't mean you're the best, right? It will not always guarantee, just because you're the biggest, it does not guarantee that you will stay the best. Being the best, however, will guarantee that you will always, if you work on being the best, you will always be on an upward trend. If you're not the biggest, you'll be in and around the biggest. Don't confuse best and biggest. Nokia did it. Kodak did it. BlackBerry did it. They all made that mistake. To an extent, Microsoft did it, probably late 90s, early noughties. IBM did it, where they thought we're the biggest, we're unstoppable. Man United did this. The Roman Empire did this until the barbarians were at the gate. Until the great, you know the old saying, the great Julius Caesar said, are those barbarians at my gate? For 400 years, the Roman walls had never been pierced. Man United are very much that, the largesse. They've been comfortable for 27 years. It's been 7 years now. Ask Liverpool, it's been 30 years. Ask my club, Chelsea, 50 years since the title. Till Mourinho came, 2005, 2004, 2005. That was 50 years. Liverpool, 30 years. Arsenal know very well. It's another year this year, so call it 18 seasons. From being invincible to dead. So that's not crazy from gigs. And by the way, you know what the problem is? Anybody, and I hate to hop on this one, it's just a world I understand. If you've had weight problems in your life, generally weight problems come from bad habits. Like, obviously, unless it's genetic, but I just know the weight thing is that it's bad habits, right? And once you get into bad habits, everybody thinks you just switch the light on and you can get rid of bad habits. Niche. We all know. I was in bad habits for 20 years of my life, right? I'll tell you, from nine until I was 27, horrible habits. I'm still getting out of some of those bad habits, because once bad habits are entrenched, they are nearly impossible to let go. If you know somebody who's on drugs, addicted to alcohol, those bad habits are impossible to kick. Man United are getting into that. When you become mediocre, it's very, very difficult. It's like turning around the Titanic in order to become elite again. Ask Liverpool. Ask Arsenal. It is almost impossible to go from mediocre to exceptional just like that. So Giggs may be onto something. Mark Francis says, wasting airtime and breath on United. Let's talk real soccer. Liverpool. Listen, Mark, the weekend, it's squeaky bum time. And I think it's going to be interesting for me to see what Liverpool do in January. Because I think Liverpool do well to be in the top 4 this season. And Van Dijk getting injured and everybody getting injured, everybody thinks this is going to be hunky-dory the whole time. That's not how it works. Because around December, the youngsters get tired. The season pros, no problem. But we're starting to see the end of a grind for Liverpool of a 3-year cycle now. Liverpool aren't winning the league. Forget it. Forget it. Like I know they think it's going to be perfect forever. Forget it. It's a tired-looking team even. Doesn't it feel like things are harder? West Ham aren't good. I know it's been a nice start for West Ham, but my God, that felt tiring to go and win that. Now every game feels like that. Please don't think Liverpool are going to come back like that every game. Even against Chelsea, against 10 men, Jorginho misses the penalty. That felt labored. Listen, the Liverpool thing, congratulations to them. You're not winning the title. I've seen enough now to know it's a tired team and expect more injuries. It's a really, really taxing way to play football for 3 seasons in a row. And now this season's really condensed. Expect Liverpool with the heavy metal football. I'm afraid that ain't going to work. But Mark Francis, they are looking good, showing grit, showing character. And they got the best player in the league right now. Sadio Mane is the best player in the league. He's the best player in the league. I like De Bruyne, but Sadio Mane is the best player in the league. Not the best in the world, but he's certainly the best in the Premier League. And that helps. Mane stays fit all the way through. And Mo Salah maybe starts passing the ball and stops diving. I think you got a chance at top 4. But I think you got the best player in the league. It would be ridiculous for anyone not to say Sadio Mane is not the best player in the league. Tabo says, remember 7-1, Francis. Don't get so cocky. It's too early. Try winning the league 3 times consecutively. Then you and I can talk. Tabo, they must just win the league twice. They must just defend the league title. Forget about 3 times is too much. No one's ever done that before outside of Man United. So Liverpool, if they want to be considered great and you want to get in that Chelsea conversation, that was a dynasty under Mourinho. You want to start getting into that United conversation, defend a league title. And also, by the way, not good enough to just defend a league title. I'd like a league and cup double. Right? The Champions League and league, that was just one. There's no greatness in winning the league. Leicester won the league. Blackburn won the league. You don't get extra points for winning it with 90 points. Sorry. If Liverpool, if Klopp wants to be considered a dynastic manager, they must win. They must do 2 things. Defend a league title and then go on to win a league and cup double. And that's not a new thing. That's dynasty. Chelsea, Arsenal, United. What have they done? Defended, gone back to back. The Invincibles are the Invincibles, and then league and cup doubles. And I don't care what you do. You could even have it be the League Cup. Go and win the league and the League Cup in the same season. League and cup double. That separates you. Greatness isn't just winning the league. Everyone's great. Then Blackburn are great because I saw them win it. Leicester are great. No. Greatness is you must do different. Separate yourself from the rest. And league and FA Cup double, obviously, that's the special one. So it's not a dynasty yet. Don't tell me Liverpool are a dynasty. Get the hell out of here with that. I'm sorry, your expectations are that low. They are great right now. They got the best player in the league. Let's not be stupid. They got Sadio Mane, for me, is the best player in the league, and there's no comparison. It's not a dynasty, though. Niche. Just because you haven't won a title for 30 years, don't expect us to lower standards. Mark Francis says, and still top of the league, what's your point? A loss is a loss. Oh, fair enough. They are top of the league. They can talk smack. Partey had Pogba in his pocket. I will address that as our finishing topic. Tabo says, point is, no matter how shit United is right now, we are still among the elites. Don't write us off yet. Wow. Tabo, of the last 7 seasons, it's been 4 years in the Europa League. Don't get caught up in the Fergie years. Listen, we must stop using great and elite and the yesteryears. Right? I'm not what I was when I was 18. Stop living in your 7 years ago was the last time Man United were elite. 7 years ago. That's 7 seasons. 2013. No, nobody thinks of United as elite anymore. I don't think of Arsenal. Let me be honest with you. Arsenal and Man United, I don't think of them as competition anymore. I'm worried about Man City. To be honest, I don't even think of Liverpool as competition. They've won one league title in 30 years. Chelsea have won 5 league titles in 17 years, just to give you the difference. Man City have won 5 in, I think, 12 years. Or 4 in 12 years, sorry. So that's the competition for me. I look at Man City as the gold standard. I don't look at Man United. I don't look at Arsenal. When on the log, I look for Man City. Consistency, people. Stop getting caught up. I'm not one for recency bias. Man City over the last 10 years are the most dominant team, right? Over the last 15 years, Chelsea are the most dominant team. Over the last 20 years, Man United are the most dominant team. Sure. But it's been 7 years now. In the last 7 years, if you're a United fan, swallow this bitter pill. Of the last 7 years, Man United have been in Europa League 4 times. You've been in Europa League more than you've been in the Champions League. If that's elite, Tabo, I don't know, man. Financially, are you elite? Yes. Have you built a financial juggernaut? Nobody's fighting that. Footballing-wise, get out of town. By the way, you haven't won the Champions League since, what was it, 09? Long time ago. 08, sorry, I was at that, actually. Luzhniki Stadium. Awful. Listen, we mustn't compromise. If you say you're elite, elite's Bayern Munich, right? I remember Chelsea won the Champions League in 2013, Champions League and FA Cup double. That's elite, right? Man City have just won every single local trophy in England. That's elite. That's elite. When we're talking about elite right now, we're looking at Liverpool as they are currently, League, Champions League, elite. Man United, what have you done to be elite in the last 7 years? And include this season, 8 years, by the way. Because this season's dead for United. They're not winning a league. They might win a cup. That's not elite. Elite is winning the league or the Champions League. Or being in the mix. Chelsea won a title 3 years ago. Man City 2 seasons ago. Liverpool title. They're elite. But I look at Man City. So I don't know, Tabo. You're in denial, man. I think you're the supermodel that's turned 35 and she thinks she's 19 still. Stop looking back. You're not what you were. Stay relevant. Remember, Nokia thought they were going to be relevant forever. What have you done for me lately? 7 years is too long. You can't ride on 7 years, dude. 7 years is too long. 5 years, yes. Chelsea haven't gone 5 years without a title since Roman Abramovich came in 2004. Man City or Man City? Sorry, that's the apex right now. Chelsea, Man City. In the last 10 years, you want to be Chelsea, you want to be Man City. Nobody else. 3 titles for the one, 5 titles for the other in the last 12. 7 years. That's got to scare you. If you're a United fan, maybe you haven't heard it put like that, by the way. In the last 7 years, you've been more times in the Europa League than you've been in the Champions League. Hashtag just saying. Hashtag just saying. So don't write us off yet, says Tabo Pali. All right. I mean, I never wrote you on, so I can't write you off. I have not taken Man United seriously since Fergie left. They are not a talking point for me. Not as elite anyway. No, that's especially if you've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager. Jesse Randolph says you can't make lemon juice with rotten lemons. Arsenal still have so much deadwood in the squad. I still don't know if we will make top 4, but this is a crazy season. We definitely have a shot. I totally agree with you, Jesse. That was a 7-2 loss with Van Dijk. He's out. Don't get too cocky. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, wow. There's plenty of Arsenal and Liverpool back and forth here. I'm loving it. Mark Francis and Jesse Randolph, the half going at each other. Randolph says, Iwobi will do everything brilliant until he gets in the box. Then he flops. The hardest thing in football is putting the ball in the back of the net. I remember coach telling me that, and it is too true. Right, we'll move on to our last subject, and I'll take this last comment. Jesse Randolph says, Partey is great, but for me, Gabriel is Arsenal's best signing. Fair enough. I'll leave that to Arsenal fans. So I heard some comments on the weekend. Partey's going to be Vieira, they're saying. Partey's going to be Vieira. Stop it. Stop it. All of you stop it immediately. Partey's going to be Vieira. First of all, he's 28 now. Patrick Vieira was Patrick Vieira at 23. So stop it. So please, do me a favor. Thomas Partey at 28 isn't as good as Patrick Vieira was at 24. Which means Patrick Vieira wasn't even at his best when he was Partey's level. Number one. Listen, I love Roy Keane, but stop it. He's not going to be Patrick Vieira. Let that go immediately. Anybody who's saying that, you need to have your brain scanned. You know, we're obsessed with this YouTube era. We have recency bias. We've seen Thomas Partey's YouTube highlights too much. I think we've forgotten what Patrick Vieira was. I think people have forgotten what an animal Patrick Vieira was. Let me tell you the very least Thomas Partey would have to do. Because I think everybody thinks Vieira came to Arsenal when Arsenal were prime Man United, prime Man City levels. Arsenal were horrible after George Graham left in 1998. 99, when was that? Yeah. They hadn't won a title since then. Vieira wasn't stepping into an Arsenal ready-made to win titles. They had a drinking... So go and read Tony Adams' book. They had a big drinking culture problem there, right? Vieira had to step in there and ensure, even with Tony Adams, Steve Bold, Martin Keown, even with all of these old heads, a sort of English drinking culture. Vieira and in fact, Arsene Wenger talks about it often. They had to rip that English drinking culture out of the dressing room. And that was murder. Arsenal weren't a winning culture when Vieira came there. He single-handedly came there and took them from cup-winning sides with that drinking culture with Merson and Tony Adams, bless him for all of his drinking issues. Listen, Thomas Partey, unless in the next 18 months, is going to rip the deadwood out at Arsenal and is going to single-handedly drive them to a title, already can't be Vieira. I want to tell you right now, stop it. Lower those expectations right down. Bring them right down. Bring them right down. He's not going to be Vieira. Vieira was Partey at 24. Partey's 28. He's already at his peak. So whatever you've seen of Thomas Partey now, that's his best. Patrick Vieira, when he arrived at Arsenal, was just... He was already what Partey is and was just getting started. By the way, he did a little thing called leading the Gunners, a great Gunners team, by the way, a great Gunners. And take this into account. He led them. Henry was not the leader of that team. Martin Keown was not the leader of that team. Kolo Toure was not the leader of that team. Arsene Wenger, quite frankly, was not the leader of that team. Patrick Vieira was. Arsenal went as Vieira went. And let me tell you how great this man was. They went unbeaten in a season. It's impossible. It is impossible. That's prime Fergie. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Listen, I cannot stand Arsenal. Stop it with the Vieira comparisons. We may never see another Patrick Vieira. We may never see another Patrick Vieira in the Premier League. He was a box-to-box monster. Do you need him to make a tackle on the edge of his box? And then in the same move, get on the end of a shot on the other side of the box or a header in the other box and finish it? Patrick Vieira is your guy. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. There is only one midfield, if you're a United fan, that you feared in that time. Yes, you feared Lampard. Yes, you feared Gerrard. But the fear was different when you played. For 5-6 years, it was different when you played Arsenal. And there was one man. Listen, Henry, yes, he was one thing. Pires, yes. Ljungberg, yes. But where was the heat? Everyone knew it was Vieira Keane. It was Vieira Keane. So for Thomas Partey, by the way, to ever even to start to be compared to Vieira, over the next 2 years, he's going to have to drive Arsenal to a title. You know how I know that? Vieira did it. Problem for Partey, he's not a leader. And leadership can't be taught, people. You saw Vieira the way he was. The swagger, that French swagger that he had about him. That's a different class. That's a different animal. Just because he's powerful, he's technical. Listen, let me tell you this one last time. Talent is not enough. If you want to be great, Paul Pogba. Talent is not enough. When you want to separate yourself, you've got to be able to lead men. Patrick Vieira took Patrick Vieira took Henry's ego. He took Martin Keown's ego. He took Sol Campbell's ego. He took Ashley Cole's ego, and he said, "Not here, children. Not here. Here it's Arsenal." Is Thomas Partey going to be able to do that? Is Thomas Partey going to be able to tell Heto Bellerin, stop with the Instagram stuff? Stop with all the nonsense. Like the vegan thing, great, that's fine. Put that aside. We want to win a title. If Partey can't do that, forget about the Vieira comparisons. Shut that down immediately. The Arsenal dynasty is not built around Thierry Henry. You will never convince me any different. Because you know how I know that? Henry left, they won. Vieira left, it's never been the same. Be honest with yourself. Henry left and they won. They still were powerful without him. Vieira left, it's never been the same. It's never been the same. Talent is not enough. Yes, give me Overmars, give me Henri, give me Ljungberg, give me Perez, give me Ray Parlour, who I love, give me Paul Merson, give me Ashley Cole, give me Lorraine, give me all of Colo Toure, give me David Seaman. Yes, give me all of those. Take Vieira out of it, none of that happens. How do I know? When he left, you're Arsenal fans, where you been since then? Where have you been since 2005, since the day Patrick Vieira walked out the door? Henri left. Ljungberg left. Seaman left. Arsenal was successful still. Listen, Tony Adams left. Tony Adams left. People say Tony Adams is the greatest player you've ever had. Vieira came in. He took it to another level. Yes, you won under George Graham with Tony Adams, etc. Vieira came in. It went from the famous song is what? 1-0 to the Arsenal to we are invincible. Champions League finals. League and Cup doubles. League and FA Cup doubles. Can Thomas Partey guarantee me as an Arsenal guy? Vieira walked in the door a year and a half later. Arsenal were the greatest team in the land. If Thomas Partey can't guarantee me that you will usurp Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool in the next 18 months, stop it right now. I don't want to hear Thomas Partey is going to be Vieira. Folks, stop getting caught up in the aesthetics. Can he lead men? And Partey's not a leader. I've seen him speak. He's not the guy. He wants to come and play and enjoy his football. Just like Paul Pogba, I think. He wants to come and play and enjoy his football. They're not leaders. Those don't grow on trees. Talent's not enough. Please shut down the Vieira thing. I'm sorry. I'm totally out on that. Yes, they look the same. Big, tall, dark, that African physique. That's about all they got in common. They're box-to-box machines. I thought Partey was unbelievable against United. But that's not when I need you, by the way. See, the great thing about Patrick Vieira is when you're down to 10 men, right, and you're away and it's raining at Stoke, that's when Vieira comes through. Now, can you guarantee me that Thomas Partey in February British weather, right, because he's just come from Spain where it's warm, I want to see Thomas Partey away at Newcastle and it's raining and you're down to 10 men. What happens then? Because I know I saw Patrick Vieira for 5 years at Arsenal constantly pulling Arsenal out of holes, constantly berating Ljungberg, berating Perez, berating the great Thierry Henry. I saw that. Listen, I've been watching football since I was 6 years old. I've been watching the Premier League since I was 9. I saw Patrick Vieira live. I was at Highbury Day. I was at Highbury Day the day it closed. I saw what greatness looks like. Listen, if Thomas Partey was Patrick Vieira, let's be honest between us, Atletico Madrid aren't letting him go. But you know who they've got? They've got Saul. If you don't know who that is, Saul's the real guy. That's now a 5-star leader, player, the whole shebang, as they say. I like Thomas Partey. He's a powerful, and he's a throwback slightly to that box-to-box midfielder. And he said, I want to be as good as Essien defensively and as good as Yaya Toure offensively. Listen, great to set your sights high. Don't give me Patrick Vieira, though. That's the top of the mountain. Patrick Vieira is Valhalla. He's the final level. That's the 10 out of 10. What do you want your prototype midfielder to be like? Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, nobody else. Maybe Frank Lampard goes into that department. There's those three, nobody else. Paul Scholes couldn't defend. Lampard had an engine and could get you. He's got the 4th most goals and 4th most assists in Premier League history. You've got to put him in that echelon. Vieira, the leader. Keane, the leader. And they were unstoppable, and they never gave the ball away, and they would change the swing and flow and the ebb and the flow of a football game. Vieira and Keane, I've never seen anything like it. One tackle, the game's changed. The game's changed. On one tackle, and then you'd see Keane get up, and he'd look at Giggs, and he'd look at Beckham, and then it was on. Vieira would make one tackle when Arsenal weren't playing well. He'd look at Perez, he'd look at Henri, he'd look at Parlour. All it took was one look, and people knew he wasn't happy. Gilberto knew, oh my goodness, the captain's not happy. Can we please raise it 15%? Just one look from Vieira changed everything. And I saw that for 5 years. So don't give me Partey's, please. Please adjust your expectations in life. If you don't want to be unhappy in life, manage your expectations. Thomas Partey is not going to be Patrick Vieira. He's not going to change life at Arsenal. Please don't expect him to do that, because that's what Vieira did at Arsenal. I'll say it one last time. Patrick Vieira changed the face of Arsenal Football Club. When he came, they were a booze bag of a football club that were happy to win FA Cups and League Cup titles here and there. Vieira came in. The great Arsene Wenger came in. Boom. It went berserk. Because Arsenal had talent, by the way. They had Ian Wright. They had all these other guys, right? They had the Winterburn. They had Dixon. They had Keown. They had Bold. They had Seaman. They had teams that could have won the league, but it hadn't happened since 97, 98. In steps Patrick Vieira. Oh, well. Well, we know what happened then. Then everything changed. So I'm sorry. I will not take Partey. Say what you will as an Arsenal fan. And I know it's an exciting time for you. Do not give me that nonsense. Do not ever compare anybody to Patrick Vieira until they've shown that they can take a team to a league title. I don't want to hear it. Similarities, yes. Equivalent, no. Partey's not a leader. He's not a leader. And you can't teach that, I'm afraid. And by the way, he's already 28. Patrick Vieira was already 24. Sorry to disappoint you if you're an Arsenal fan. You've got a high-quality, world-class player. He's clearly proper. I mean, he'd lose the ball. He had the athleticism and the know-how to get it back. He made Pogba invisible this game. He made Pogba invisible. And he's got a pass to Partey, by the way. He can thread the needle. He can thread the eye of a needle. So you've got a player. Certainly. But come on, Patrick Vieira. That's football royalty. Let's not do that. Don't put that on his shoulders. Expectation is a killer. Nobody's Patrick Vieira. Love to know what you think, but I just, and I'm not an Arsenal fan, by the way. I do not like the Arsenal. I'm a Chelsea guy. But great is great. I don't care where you go in the world. Great is great. Zidane is Zidane. Messi is Messi. Cristiano Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo. Great is great. And Vieira is ultimate. I don't care if you support Tottenham, you support Liverpool. Listen, if you're a Liverpool fan, I'm sorry. Steven Gerrard's name should never be mentioned in the same sentence as Patrick Vieira. I'm sorry. Steven Gerrard had better teams than Vieira and couldn't take them to the promised land. I'm sorry. Gerrard, for all of you who love him at Liverpool, don't you dare mention his name in the same breath as Patrick Vieira. Don't you dare. It is not close. You're talking about a World Cup winner, a Euro winner. And by the way, he wasn't a bit part player in the French dynasty either. He was at the very center of it with Claude Makelele. The team was built around him. Zidane, yes, it was Makelele and Vieira in there. And he was at the center of it. You know what? Zidane was the gravy. Vieira was the steak. Vieira and Makelele were the steak. They were everything to that team. Christian Carambo, Makelele, and then you had Patrick Vieira going box to box and just destroying people. Phenomenal player. Thomas Partey, no chance. We'll finish off with Jesse Randolph. He says, do you think Guardiola will win the Champions League again? He never won it without Messi. I do think he'll win it again. I think he's too good, and I think he's got far too long left in football. Listen, winning the Champions League is hard. Fergie only won 2 in his time, by the way. And Man United had the lay of the land for 15 years. Man United were the richest club in world football, and Fergie only won it twice. By the way, listen, Zidane, that's freakish. Zidane's got 3. There's only what? I think there's only 3 managers with 3. Ancelotti, Zidane. I forget who the other one is. Was there only 2? Yeah, the Champions League's hard to win. That's. Listen, if you've got 1 Champions League, you've done incredibly. Jose's got 2. That's insane. That is insane. Fergie tried for 30 years as a manager. Jose's at 15 years. He's only won it twice. Pep's got 2. And that's a lot. I do think he'll win it, though. I think you can't have that type of relentless greatness with he'll always work with the best resources. He'll win it again. And Pep's a football lifer as well. I don't think he's one of these guys. I don't see Jurgen Klopp surviving the next 20 years. I see Pep being around for the next 15 years. he'll certainly win it at least once more for sure. He's the best manager of our time, and it's not even close. He reinvented football. So I think and the great thing about Pep, he's so hard on himself. He's always reinventing. I think he'll certainly win it. Randolph says, I agree with you, but hey, did you see how good El Neni played next to Partey? I did see that, and I think they're a great complementary piece. I think they're great together. You've got yourself kind of what they look like is what Arsenal had at their greatest, right? Gilberto and Vieira working together. El Neni being in that Gilberto role. Gilberto being more functional. El Neni's being the functional role. Partey's got the freedom to go and chase the game. If he wants to press Pogba high, he presses high. And Partey's got that ability to break late into the box. We saw that quite brilliantly with all of his shots and breaking late on the ball. So I think you've got that. It looks nice. Partey, I think, can be that Vieira role while you've got your Gilberto and El Neni, who looked fantastic. Functional. And what I like about El Neni is he understands his role. Get the ball quickly to the better players. I love that. It's Xhaka's problem. Xhaka's too slow on the turn. El Neni, nimble, get the ball, win it, get rid of it, get it to the better players. I really, really like that. And he allowed Partey to have a good game because he got it to Partey quickly, and then Partey, he can see the field and he can do the playing. I think Ceballos, I'd like to see Ceballos next in this three with Partey, Ceballos, and El Neni if they can find a way. Yeah, I thought El Neni was magnificent on the weekend. Jesse Randolph says, Chelsea's starting to defend great and they're starting to score. You still want to see more, but I'm convinced more before I'm convinced Lampard is the guy. I'm not convinced either. I'd like to see a season where just leave Jorginho out now. And I don't believe in recency bias. Listen, the next 10 games will tell us. After 10 games of the season, you know what you are. So let's see another 3 or 4 games, because now we've seen Lampard against big teams, no good. Mediocre teams, Chelsea go and eat. But you want to win titles, you want to be the guy, you have to beat Man United in that game. Right? You have to beat Liverpool. You have to beat Arsenal in the games that are coming. You've got to beat Tottenham. You cannot be drawing these games anymore. You can't go and lose from 2-0. You can't go and lose to Southampton. So Jesse, for me, it's too small a sample size. I want to see 10 more games of Lampard being consistent, Chelsea churning out the results, and then I can say I don't like to get caught up in the moment. I don't like to get caught up in the moment. And I still think I still don't think Lampard knows his best 11. I still don't like the fact that he plays the setup up front. Why is Tammy Abraham playing? Abraham can't hold the ball up, and the crossing is great from Chelsea. Tammy Abraham's tall for nothing. He doesn't get up. He doesn't compete. Play Giroud. I don't understand why Giroud's not playing, because I think Werner and Giroud would be lethal. Just like Hazard and Giroud used to be. Giroud brilliant at holding the ball up, and we've seen that Werner likes to turn the ball around the corner and join the front man, but Abraham can't hold the ball up. He's got Lukaku's first touch, which is embarrassing. But great weekend of football. Great weekend of football. I thought just all the games were great. I thought Newcastle were phenomenal, tactically sublime, and I think that Bournemouth duo are starting to pay dividends for them. I think there's goals in that front two for Newcastle, something they've had a problem with for a long time. Newcastle have actually been decent defensively for the last 2-3 seasons. Just they haven't been able to get goals. But Callum Wilson, can he stay fit? Right? But with Fraser, we saw what they did at Bournemouth. Now you're going to allow them to, they don't have to defend. Right? At Bournemouth, they had to do everything. Now at Newcastle, it's rather secure. Henry, or was it Hendrick? He'll do all the running in midfield, that messy stuff. Fraser can just stay up front and pick the ball up. Almiron will do all the running. And they're looking dangerous up front. So Newcastle looking really, really good. Great weekend of football. I thought Liverpool showed some grit. That was nice to see. Perhaps they may be champions. Sadio Mane is unbelievable. He's out of this world, that guy. He's the best player in the league. Man City, they started to get there. And they still don't have all their players. They still don't have a striker. Ferran Torres, by the way, that is a player. My God, the Premier League's a great product. Great that it's back. Man United, you got a problem. Stop dating out of your class. If you're better looking than your girlfriend, if your girlfriend's better looking than you, if you're richer than your girlfriend's richer than you, get out of that relationship. Stop dating out your class. That is the show, ladies and gentlemen. He's Gareth Cliff. I'm MKT. Remember to push the like button, push the thumbs up button. That gives us the algorithm. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere tonight, doing anything with anybody. You chose to be with us on Cliff Central Sport and the MKT Show. Gareth Cliff, MKT, MKT Show. We are the hell out of here.